Robert Sanchez, you are absolutely finished, fam. Sanchez, you are absolutely finished. Obviously, this is the review for the Chelsea and Man City game. But as you can tell, I am absolutely fuming because not only did we lose 3-1, not only did we not lose to a City team that have not been the best version of themselves, but we lost in the fashion that we did. How can a man like Robert Sanchez come out of his line and think to himself, oh, I'm just going to sit here and just not do anything? This guy is absolutely done. Today's just a constant reminder as to how we've spent our money because we spent so much money, and yet the team is still not complete. Today, Sanchez was not good enough. Nicholas Jackson was not good enough. Two areas of the pitch that we know full well that we know we need to improve. We know we need to improve this team. We absolutely know it. And today is just a constant reminder because we lost 3-1 to Man City. And Maresca, you can't be back in the sky no more. I have been sitting here saying that, oh yes, we don't necessarily have to have the best goalkeeper to get top four. We could potentially get with Robert Sanchez. But today, with bozo mistakes like that, how can you as a keeper come out off your line and be like, oh yes, I'm in no man's land, but I'm going to still stay in no man's land? I am not a goalkeeper. Millions of people are not goalkeepers. But what do you decide to do? What do you decide to do? You decide to sit there and guess what? Guess who has the ball? Who's sitting right in front of you? Who has the ball? Erling Haaland. The same man who has been winning golden boots for fun the last 2 seasons. For fun. And what did you decide to do? You have decided to, oh yes, stay in no man's land and get lobbed. Do you not understand how much of a bozo mistake that is? You have now conceded 5 goals because of your mistakes. I remember earlier in the season sitting here saying that, oh yes, yes, you need to improve. I like how you take ownership. Today, there's 2 chances. You are not getting a third one. You are not. He should not start. You are absolutely finished, Robert Sanchez. Absolutely finished. And to be honest with you, we have to talk about obviously the sporting directors now. Because realistically for me, the sporting directors, you are the guys who are allowing Robert Sanchez to start. Last season, we conceded so many goals. And guess what? We eventually had Dodi Petrovic in goal, who have now been sent out on loan. And now we're stuck with Robert Sanchez or Jorgensen, 2 keepers, who I'll sit here and say they are not good enough. There is not a big difference between either of these keepers. But still, I would still sit here and believe that we can still get Champions League football. Because until today, I might have seen mistakes, but I never saw such a dumb mistake in my life. I can't tell you a mistake more recently where a player has been this dumb, where a player has been this dumb. You, Robert Sanchez, you are finished, man. You are finished. You deflate the whole team. You deflate the whole entire team. We have a clip or a picture of Chalobah looking at you. There was even a point where you threw the ball out and Mama was like, what are you doing? And then even another clip where Enzo Fernandez is literally like, bro, bro, nodding his head thinking, what are you doing? This is what we are getting set up to fail. Because again, we need a keeper. It is January 25th. Go buy a goalkeeper. Even bring back Kepa at this point in time. I'm not saying that rates Kepa that highly, but now after today, like, this is how much man's feeling. And fair enough, this is a reaction, yeah? But I'm not going to lie to you, we are in full right to feel this way. Because Sanchez, you are done out. You are absolutely done out. There is no coming back from this. You do not deserve another chance. You do not deserve another chance. You don't. You are absolutely finished. Absolutely finished. And I can't even lie to you, man. You don't deserve another chance. But what are we going to do now? What are we actually going to do? How are we really meant to survive now? Now, we are damn 6th, 1 point behind Manchester City, a team who was like 7 or 8 points ahead of Newcastle, a point ahead of us. And guess what? Guess who we have next? Guess who we have next? We have West Ham. We have West Ham. And you know who their manager is? You know who their manager is? Graham Potter. The same man who I've been saying was set up to fail. And guess what? He will have a point to prove. We have 9 days until then. Get a damn goalkeeper because we cannot be trusting him. Bring back Petrovic or something. We have to do something. We cannot rely on his keeper. And I will sit here saying that, yes, I was sitting here saying that, oh, yes, we should, we can potentially get top 4 because of how ahead we are. But now we are not that ahead. We are not even ahead. We are behind. 6th place. Same points as Bournemouth. Aston Villa, if they win tomorrow, we could be on the same, we could be 1 point ahead of them. Things have changed very quickly. Things have changed very quickly. 1 win and our last 7 Premier League games. Not good enough. Not good enough. And we have brought this all on ourselves. We have done this to ourselves. We have absolutely done this to ourselves, and we have ourselves to blame. So much money spent, but yet, we can't guarantee top 4 against and getting a win against the City side. Like, fair enough, we started the game off well. We had man like Noni Madueke score, but this is based off a mistake that the Man City new player had made. And after that, we capitulated. We absolutely capitulated. Like, honestly, we just capitulated. The team, after that point, we had one more opportunity where Nicholas Jackson should have scored. Try to shoot with your left foot. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to pass it back to Sancho. And so after that, where was our best chance? That was after what? First 15, 20 minutes? After that, where did our chances come from, man? Where? What did they do? Nothing. Because we didn't deserve to win today. And you know what's so funny? Is that we lost 3-1 to Manchester City, yeah? But it should have been more. And a couple offside goals. They had clear-cut chances that they didn't score from. And yet we still lost 3-1. Sanchez, the first goal, the mistake that you made, should have done better. But can we really be surprised? Can we really be surprised? No. Because I can never sit here and say that, oh yes, we can keep a clean sheet. Because we can't. Going into this season, our biggest issue was defense. I've been saying that. But because of how good our attack was for the majority of the season, I thought that we could bail it out. I'm going into this game thinking that, yep, we can definitely get something. But we didn't. And we deserve to lose. We absolutely deserve to lose. And it's just so jarring, so heartbreaking at this point in time. Because for a team like us to spend as much money as we have and we still have these problems, and they're all on us, it's not about the other team being so much better than us. It's about our mistakes. And we gift goals away for fun. For fun. Every single game, we have to talk about, oh yes, Sanchez, error, ball at your feet. Remember last season when we drew with Arsenal after being 2-0 up? Who was the cause of that? Robert Sanchez. Bozo mistake after bozo mistake. And now we have Jorgensen here. Someone who I don't even think is that good. But I'm going to be so honest with you. And now we are in this dire situation because things were looking up. And now they are turning for the worst. They are turning for the worst. Sanchez deserves to sit on the bench. He deserves to leave this club. Sell him for free or something like that. Because after today, I can literally tell you the one-time mistake he made earlier this season, one-time mistake, I put it on your profile, on your picture. I said, I like how you take ownership, but please improve. Today, you'll never get another opportunity from me. You are never going to get another opportunity from me because 2 clean sheets in 17, 18 lost matches. 2. A team like us, where we were built on defense. When we won our last Champions League, defense. Jose Mourinho put our team, when he first came in, defense. We always had a good attack. We could always score goals. But now that's all we can do. And then when we can't score goals and we don't have the tempo, then what? Then what? Nothing. Capitulation. Capitulation. That's us. And it's so jarring because who has spent as much money as us? Who? In such a short space of time. And yet we're still here. Like at this point, I know Enzo Maresca will be like, oh yes, he's made a mistake. You want to try bail him out. I don't even think that this is on Enzo Maresca. Because realistically, we've gone through 3 different managers. Right now, every single season since these men have been here. And what's the constant theme? Oh, the sporting directors. Same sporting directors that don't want to sign a new keeper. The same sporting directors who don't want to sign a striker. Because today, those 2 areas of the pitch cost us. We can't always rely on Cole Palmer. Our wingers and that. Not like I don't want to sit here and say that they're not good enough. But when we don't control games, when we don't do enough, this is all on us. Having guys like McCallum Mudryk not here is not good enough because we don't have enough space in the team to be able to take apart a team. We don't. And Manchester City, they are a top team. They are the reigning Premier League champions. Even if they're going to lose the Premier League title this season, they are the reigning Premier League champions. And we didn't do enough. 20 minutes in, after that, all Manchester City. All Manchester City. And again, it's all on us to blame. Because we can't set up in the right way. I don't want to be sitting here and be like, oh yeah, Maresca, this is all on you. This is a manager who has his first full season in the Premier League. His first full season in the Premier League. This is not on him. He needs time. He needs time. He has done well for us to be 1 win in our last 7 games and still be having somewhat of a chance to get top 4. Somewhat of a chance to get top 4. Champions League football. And it's not like last season where I'm blaming Pochettino. It's not. I'll be real to you, man. After today, you never know. But I'll be honest. Hopefully we can get 5th place. But the way things are looking, it's not looking good. I'm not going to lie to you, yeah. I think Maresca's a smart person. I think he has no other option. I think he has no other option but to play Sanchez. And if we're going to be sitting here talking about the sporting directors as well, we can look at Jorgensen. Neither of these keepers are good enough. If you ask me, I've said it all season. None of these keepers are really good enough. I would expect that the highest point for them to do, the highest that they could do, is help us get Champions League. That's the most. You can't win a Premier League title. You can't win a Champions League with these keepers. And who's on that? The team that spent the most money, but yet don't want to get a top quality keeper. You want to buy these youthful players, not experienced enough. And that hinders players like Levi Colwill. That hinders players like we have so many different players who can't do enough. And like Sancho has done well since he's come. Maresca has improved certain players. But again, the lack of experience in this team is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. We were so ahead at the start of the season. So ahead. 7, 8 points above City and Newcastle, who are now above us. And guess what? Like I said, and now we will be briefs tonight. There will be briefs. But I don't care, man. Because at the end of the day, now, the team, we absolutely just need to sign a new keeper. I've been saying it. I've been saying that we need to get a new keeper. I was thinking that maybe we could get away with having Sanchez in goal. Because I am not a fool. I know his limits. But today, mind-blowing. I've never seen a keeper be so dumb. I've never seen a keeper be so dumb. Childish errors. How are you coming off your line? And on top of that, in front of Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. Does he not know who he is? Does he not know who he is? Does he not know? The same man who's literally scored 50 plus goals in the last 2 seasons. And yet you're going to give him an open goal. To be like, oh yes, Haaland, Yes, Haaland. 3 bags full, Sir Haaland. You can score in the empty net. Go on. I don't care about us getting top 4. I don't care. That's literally what I'm taking from this. And like you said, we need a striker, and we're getting Garnacho. I can't lie to you, man. There's pros and cons to every situation, isn't it? Like, we should not be spending that on Garnacho. But then you look at Manchester City, they miss Rodri, where they can't get a CDM, or they don't want to. Something like those kind of things. It's like there's the mind is mind blowing. Like, we've bought quality players, but Nicholas Jackson, he needs that. He needs that extra push. He needs guys in the team that can just, oh yes, help him out, because we can only rely upon him to be a striker. Nkunku is not a striker. We're buying Joao Felix, Nkunku. For what? We have so many already attackers, and yet we have 4 guys in cams and only 1 recognized striker. Mark Gu can't even get a look in, and rightly so, because realistically, we cannot really be relying upon him. It's not fair on him. But then again, it's not fair on Nicholas Jackson either. A player who we all know can improve. He has improved more this season, but there's still there's so much room for improvement. So much room. But the one area where I've been saying this whole entire season will make us or break us is defense. Is defense. And the last line of defense is our goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper. And guess what? He has been an absolute joke. An absolute joke. 5 errors this season. This season. How many more errors are you going to need? How many more? Last season, the game against Arsenal allowed them to come back in when we were 2-0 up and we can't beat them. Ever since these new owners have come in, we haven't beaten Liverpool, Man City, or Arsenal. The top 3 teams in this league. The top 3 teams in this league. We have not been able to beat them. We have not been able to beat them. And guess what? All it takes is for another team to be better than us. And then there's no top 4. None of that. No Champions League. We are preying on a star. I'll be real to you. We have no choice but to start Jorgensen at this point. Because I'm not starting Sanchez. But guess what? We don't have we don't have that power. And right now, I don't even think Enzo Maresca has that power. Because after today, like, if Pochettino, like, fair enough, Sanchez got injured last season. That was a miracle in disguise, because that's what allowed Dodi Petrovic to be our keeper. Even going into the season, I would have said, who would you rather have in goal? Jorgensen? I mean Petrovic or Sanchez? Hand on heart, I would have said Petrovic. Hand on heart, but guess what? He got sent out on loan. There is not an option anymore. And now we have Jorgensen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he's any much better. He might not make as many mistakes, but I'm guarantee you, put him in these positions, he will make a mistake. But at this point in time, what else do we have to lose at this point? We have lost 8 points, 9 points lead on Newcastle and Man City. Both teams who are above us right now. And now we have to deal with the likes of a team like Bournemouth, who are on the same points as us. So deflated, man. So deflated at this point. Like, realistically, we deserve to lose. And one thing I can say is that we're actually lucky to only lose 3-1. We're actually lucky. So lucky. Because if this was a Man City team from previous years, it would have been way worse. It would have been way worse. But again, we are lucky to know that the good start that we had, fair enough, we have squandered that. But we still have a chance of Champions League. And I have to credit Maresca for that. I have to credit him for that. This is the thing that we have to do. Like, for me, it's not on Enzo Maresca. It's on the board. It has to be on the board. Games like today prove us points. On one end, you have Nicholas Jackson, who caught his left foot. Didn't decide to. Wanted to pass it back to Sancho. Other end of the pitch, Robert Sanchez makes a mistake. Dumb mistake. Could have done better for the first goal. Should have done better for the first goal. But guess what? These are the situations that we put ourselves in. Because with all the money that we've spent, you don't want to go buy a much better keeper. There is a Douglas Costa at Porto, you know. There's a Douglas Costa at Porto. There are other keepers around the world as well. We have allowed a team like Liverpool to sign Mamadashvili, who had such a great Euros and didn't want to sign anyone. For what? For Sanchez. This joke, man, this prick. I'm not having it no more. I'm not having it anymore. He is finished. He is finished. He does not deserve to be a keeper anymore. You don't. You are so dumb. Like, we can see keepers like Onana at Manchester United, yeah, and he's made dumb mistakes. But guess what? He actually has a track record of being good keeper at some point. When we signed Robert Sanchez, he was a number 2, if not a number 3 at Brighton. At Brighton. Onana can actually say that he was doing well in the Champions League final against this Man City team. Fair enough, he's gone to Manchester United. It's not been the same, but that club is rotten to the ground. They're just ruining players. Right now, we are just literally just wasting money for fun. Be like, oh yes, I got an idea. Let me go get this guy. And then when it blows up in your face, then what? Us fans have to pay for it. Have to live with this. Sit this. And knowing full well that come our game against West Ham, you know he's going to start. You know he's going to start. You absolutely know he's going to start. And it's going to be Robert Sanchez. Unless a miracle happens and he gets injured. Because that's what helped us last season. Imagine if he didn't get injured last season. Imagine it. If he didn't get injured last season, there'd have been no Petrovic in goal. We need something like Sanchez to get injured. And I don't really like to wish injuries on players. But Mal will be wishing an injury on Robert Sanchez at this point. Because I just don't want to see him play no more. I absolutely don't. You are finished. I could look past certain mistakes you made, but today, the context of it, Haaland, you've literally run out to the corner of the goal, to the corner of the area. For what? Because you don't care about us getting top 4. You don't care about how many goals that we concede. Hence why you've given us 5 errors that led to goals this season. More than any other keeper. More than any other keeper. If you didn't come out off that line, who knows? We could have maybe drawn this game. Who knows? But we absolutely don't know anymore now because you are a twat. Robert Sanchez, you are a twat. You are absolute twat. And I can't have this no more. There are certain things that I can take. There's certain times where I can be positive. But when there's no positive anymore, best believe I'm not going to be an idiot and think to myself, oh yes, I'm going to still think that there's some positive. No. Because today could have been ours for the taking against a Man City team who have been not their best in the last couple of years. And yet we still lose 3-1. 11 games now where we haven't beaten Man City. We haven't beaten Man City in 11 games now. Since these owners have come in, we can't beat City, can't beat Liverpool, can't beat Arsenal. We need something to change. We absolutely need something to change. Because early in the season, people would have said, oh, we played a good game. Today we didn't. And the fact that we lost 3-1, like honestly, we are lucky. Because it could have been 6. It could have been 7. If City were really on their job, if they had a player like Rodri in their team, it would have been a long day. They had Doku or someone. They had De Bruyne starting. They started Mamouche. His first Premier League game in the season. His first game. And look, he had a good game. Couple goals that would have been offside. But look at it. We were absolutely finished, man. And with over $1.5 billion spent, we're still talking about a keeper. We are still talking about a keeper, still talking about a striker, but yet we're buying wingers. Even though we have Kendry Pires, Estavio William coming in the summer. 2 guys that can play as a wing. We bought last season. I can excuse the fact that we bought Cole Palmer, someone who's a number 10, could play on the right hand side. And Cuckoo got injured, he took that role. Fair enough. But when we signed Joao Felix this season, we didn't need to. But these owners have some fetish. And I know we can talk about the sporting directors, but guess what? Everything will always go through the owners. Because the sporting directors can only put out an ideal. But the owners have the checkbook. And we are made to pay for this. Thank God that we're not trying to challenge for a Premier League title, because as mad as I am right now, it would have been even worse. It would have been even worse. Because somehow, some way, we still have some sort of hope of getting Champions League football. Somehow, some way. We've only won 1 game in our last 7 Premier League matches. This shouldn't be the case. But this is down to Maresca and the attackers that we have. Cole Palmer. And Caicedo, Cucurella. Exquisite this season. You man are hot the mom. No Diddy and that. You guys have been saving us. But when they don't turn up, when they don't have great games, who's there to bail us out? Who? Not only that, but we're learning new roles as well. We're playing a new system. Last season we weren't doing these kind of things. Now we are. And Maresca will sit there and say that we have evolved. We are much better than last season. But guess what? With a player like Robert Sanchez, all it takes for him to have one mistake and the ball ends up in the back of the net. What's the point? Because we can sit there and say that Nicholas Jackson isn't the best striker, but guess what? We could still get top 4 with Nicholas Jackson. We could. But now with Robert Sanchez, after today, never again. You are absolutely finished, Robert Sanchez. You do not deserve to be here no more. And that's why when I said that, you saw me on stream, I said, fuck you, Robert Sanchez. Because you've literally made us lose today. It's thanks to you. People can sit there and say that, oh, Maresca, he might not have the right build-up. He gives guys too much respect. I can agree with that. But guess what? This is his first full season as a manager in the Premier League. Given these situations, he needs time. I'm not going to sit there and say Enzo Maresca out or anything like that, because he damn well needs time and he deserves time. Because if it wasn't thanks to him and the way he coached this team, we wouldn't still have a chance of Champions League. Whereas this time last year, we had no chance. There was absolutely no chance in hell. And we had a manager that was way more experienced than him. And he couldn't do enough. Very people can sit there and say that we had injuries and that. Had injuries recently as well. That plays a part. But the way Maresca sets up the team and the way that we play, we was putting away teams quite regularly during the start. But now, ever since December, now about to go into January and when our next game is, looking long. Luckily, we have West Ham. But again, West Ham, this is a team who have Graham Potter now. And if you think that Graham Potter doesn't have a point to prove against Chelsea, because I never really wanted him to leave. I never see that people say this, oh, he's not good enough and such. Fair enough, he might be good enough to West Ham, but he could still take points off us if we don't turn up. We don't put away our chances. Today, we didn't create enough. Our attack was crap. Our midfield was not good enough. Defense, crap. But this is what happens when you have an inexperienced team, the youngest Premier League team. Naivety, complacency. We are being ridiculed right now. And this is a Chelsea team who a couple of seasons ago won a Champions League. But ever since then, We've been on the downward trajectory. Even though this season it might have been like we're still not up, up, up. Hence why for all a lot of time I've never said that we're back. Because I know when my team is back. I felt at different points in the season where I feel like my team, where us, we could have done better. And we've been getting a little bit better. But not enough for me to be like, oh yes, we are back amongst the best teams in the league on a consistent basis. Our toughest thing is to finish in the top 4 this season. Whereas you got other teams who could potentially go for a title going into the season. Liverpool, City, Arsenal. We are not of that level. We are basically on the level of like a Nottingham Forest right now. They've been better than us this season. Newcastle, Bournemouth. These are the teams. These are the teams that we're on the same level as, and these are the teams that we have to look out for. Hence why today we could have gone 1 point behind Nottingham Forest, but we bottled that. We bottled it. And I know that we lost to Man City, and I can take losses, but the way we lost today just can't sit right with me. It can't. I absolutely hate this feeling of how I felt during this match, knowing that after that mistake, the morale in the team just took a dive. Took a dive. When we scored 1-0, yes, man was excited, thinking that, okay, maybe things can change. Maybe we can do better. But guess what? Capitulation. After 20 plus minutes, what did we do? Nothing. Allowed C back into the game. And this is a team who should have scored way more than 3 goals. But it's down to them not being at their best. Because if they were at their best, it would have been curtains. It would have been way worse. Would have been way worse. But again, Maresca has done some things right. He has done some things wrong. And the biggest thing that he's done wrong is back Robert Sanchez. I can be guilty of that as well. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, yes, we don't need to buy another keeper. I know full well we do. But I've sat here and said that Maresca, like, I trust you and your decisions, but I can't trust the Sanchez thing no more. Other people was out on that jury for a minute. I am now on that jury list. Going to be like, Robert Sanchez, you are guilty of not being good enough. You are guilty of being able to leave Chelsea. You should leave Chelsea. But guess what? Can we really trust the signings that we're going to make? What keeper can we get right now? Want to spend money on Garnacho when you know there's other areas? The only thing I would say and say is that, oh, we're a team that's always going to have money. Maybe we could get him or something like that. So I'm not someone that's going to sit and say that, oh, yes, let us buy Garnacho. I really, 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 really want Garnacho. No, that's not me. I just try to be positive. I try to be positive. But there's only so much positivity that you can put out there. There's only so much until you are hit with reality. And today the reality is that until we get a new keeper, we're always going to be just a top 4 team at best. And right now, it doesn't even look like we're going to get top 4. I hope that we will. I really do. But after today and how I feel, how do we not know that it's going to be another mistake like this? How do we not know? Well, we do know, because our defense just isn't good enough. You got guys like Levi Cole, that's his first full season in the Premier League as starting at left side of centre back. Who's he meant to learn from? Who is he meant to learn from? What is he meant to do in order to get better? Only by playing game after game after game. And in those moments, you can make mistakes, and then we're going to punish. Because we can't rely on Sanchez. We can't. I can sit there and say that, yep, he's one save of the month and all these different kind of things. Fair enough. But guess what? From what man's seen, especially from what man saw today, a massive eye-opener as to why we deserve to lose. The sporting directors, you man, like, I know people sit there and say pull instantly out and that, and I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm against these kind of things. I'm not. But we all know who's in charge of everything. We all know who's in charge of everything. And it's always going to be the owners. Clear Lake Capital right now. And they've done well. They've been able to get us players like, let's say, Nkunku, Cole Palmer. I like Neto. Jackson was calm for the money that we paid for him. Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, most definitely. Lavia, just injury prone. If he wasn't, it would be a different story. Wesley Fofana, don't necessarily agree with the fee, but that was Todd Bowley, who was the owner at that point. He was making the decisions. So yeah, man. This is just a very, very, very frustrating day for all Chelsea fans, and I feel sorry for the Chelsea fans that had to travel all the way to the Etihad and now have to come back home. Won't reach home until like earliest point 12:30, 1 o'clock. And they have to come back sitting on the bus, going through all of these different situations. Like I feel sorry for them, and we deserve better. We're one of the most decorated teams in the last 20 years, but now we just capitulate. FC Charity FC strikes again. This is not good enough. I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. I'm sick and tired of feeling like this. Even though it hasn't happened so much this season, but it's happened enough. Because we should have been home and dry in the terms of the Champions League. 8 points we were once ahead of City. Now they're 1 point above us. One winner lost 7 Premier League games. Absolutely not good enough. We need to do better. We need to sign players. But let me just go through the starting 11 for you guys as well. I can't lie to you. I'm so jarred at this point. But obviously this was our where is it, man? Hold on a second. So frustrated at this point, man. Obviously this is our hurry up and load, man. Hmm. I need to get the starting 11 up for you guys. Man, just very deflated at this point, man. So deflated. Whereas today, I man had a lot of energy, hoping for the best. But guess what? Hope kills you, man. It's that hope that kills you. 110%. And guess what? We absolutely deserve the result today. Man, just so mad at this point, man. Why couldn't we just get the win today? Why couldn't Nico hit the ball with his left foot? But you decide to do it in the second half. Other than the first 20 minutes, maximum 25, we were crap. And man just lost for words. Not just because we lost to Man City, but it's the way that we do it. We always do it to ourselves. I wish things could be different. I wish that when the amount of money that we spent, we would have at least a spine. But we don't. We have Cole Palmer, Enzo Caicedo in that span. But other than that, those three don't turn up. Cucurella doesn't turn up. Then what? They don't turn up, then what? We're finished. Enzo came out today as well. And it's like, you got bro that's literally playing. And he might not be 100%, but he still plays and shows the passion that he does for the team because he loves the team. The way man loves him, no Diddy and that. But him, Caicedo, Cole, that midfield there is very important. But when you look at the goalkeepers that we have, whether it's Jorgensen or whether it is Robert Sanchez, Neither keeper is good enough. Neither keeper is good enough. And guess what? That's on us for the way they spent the money. The sporting directors, whoever has signed these guys, too much naivety, not enough experience. And that's what will stand between us getting top four and finish outside the top four. So frustrating at this point, man. Absolutely so frustrating. Like, I literally just can't understand how a man can be so dumb. But that's why the title is what it is. That Sanchez, you are finished, man. We're absolutely finished. And right now, I hasn't even ate any food, any raw food today. But yeah, man, still here doing this. It's like, I need to get this stuff done. Very frustrating result, man. I wish things that could be different. But unfortunately, they just can't be. Because we are just not good enough at this point. And it's okay not to be the best. But for the money that we have spent, we are nowhere near the best. The maximum that we could get is Champions League football, man. But even then, now I can't start Yogurt. I now can't start Sanchez in goal. But what happens if Jorgensen makes a mistake? Then what? Literally back to square one. And I think that that's the most common thing that's going to happen because the sporting directors, the owners, they have their way that they want to do things. It's no coincidence that it's no coincidence that man like Nicholas Jackson and Sanchez both had poor games. That just gives us an insight to how bad we have been, especially attacking wise. But now we've had these attackers, unless we're going to be waiting 2 or 3 years for them to hit their prime and do their best, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. But this is just how it goes, man. This is the life that we live. And it's just so frustrating. Actually, so frustrating. What can we do? Nothing. Such a jarring result, man. So annoying. But we have West Ham next in 9 days. That's much more rest. The team, I pray you guys do very well. I really do. Because we absolutely need another result this coming week. A week from tomorrow, we literally play slots and these kind of things. I'm confused, bro. I'll just be real with you. I'm just so tired at this point. I'm so hungry. I haven't ate any raw food today. And to lose the way we have done now, I'm just so annoyed, so frustrated. I don't really like to get too loud. If I get loud, it's with the heat of the moment. But normally I'm a very calm individual. But these guys are not trying to make me calm. They want us to be on medication because to support this club, you must have medication or something like that. Because the way we've done our thing and allowed teams to come back and be above us in the Premier League is not good enough. But this is not on Esma Resco. It's on the board. We need to give him time. He's not someone that should be getting sacked at any point during the season. Not at all. But we have no guarantees on what's going to happen. We have no guarantees on how things are going to go. So, just jarring. But I'd like to thank you, Nehemia, for your comments and that. I'm just so deflated at this point, man. So deflated. I wish the team could be more clinical. I wish the team could be more just better at defending. Trevor Chalobah had a good game today. Pick him up. Reece James was okay. Could have done better. Enzo Fernandez recently came back from injury and he done his thing. I have to commend him for that as well. Obviously, let me just get up the starting 11. Mm. Ah, frustrations, man, frustrations. If you guys have any thoughts and opinions, feel free to ask me. But just so finished right now with the team that we have. Because for the money that we've spent, we've just wasted enough. Only to have Malo Gusto is a good player. We have bought um Fofana, he's just injury prone. Bought Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo. On top of that, Cole Palmer, of course. Noni can do better. Neto can do better. Sancho can do better. Like we have some good players in this team, but we need a lot more. We need a lot more, and I hope that we get that. But the chances of us really getting a keeper this window is slim to none. The board director's not going to allow Sanchez to leave. They must have really liked him at Brighton, and we've got a lot of people from Brighton here, and that's must be the he say she say kind of thing, where whatever he says must be gospel, but it's not gospel. Robert Sanchez needs to be dropped 1,010%. He doesn't deserve to be our starting keeper anymore. Sanchez, you are just absolutely done now, absolutely finished. I do not rate you. You are not good enough for this team. But guess what? Neither is the other keeper we have. We're going to be praying and wishing on a star that someone like Mike Penders can do well and can be better than what we have right now. But again, there's no guarantees. He's doing well right now in Argentina. I think it's the USA, one of the two. Yeah, man. Team is just not good enough today. Absolutely frustrating, but what can we do in it? But yeah, that's just gonna be it for me regarding this match review. Thank you, Nehemia, for your comments and that. I will be doing this again. I'll be going live in a couple of days' time, but I'll be back for another watch along 1 week from Monday when we take on West Ham because we have so much time to prepare for it. We must get a win. Must get a win. But yeah, man. On that note, I'm still trying to show you guys the starting 11.